Good afternoon, welcome to Boothferry Park for what is the third Humberside derby of the season. Hull Sharks against Hull Kingston Rovers. First time the two sides have played on this ground since the mid-80s when they played against each other in a Yorkshire Cup final and a John Player final, those going one to either side. And this divisional playoff, very interesting stage. Hull, with that defeat at Featherstone last week, need to win today. Rovers have had 2 victories from 2, home to Wakefield and away at York, and they're very much at full strength today. The Hull side first of all. Graham Hollis is at fullback. Logan Campbell will make his full debut today. Rob Nolan, Tavita Vicona, Mark Johnson, Gary Lester, Mark Hewitt, Steve Craven, Mike Dixon, Andy Ireland, Andy Fisher, Richard Wilson and Matt Schultz on the bench. David Boyd, Brad Heppy, Kevin Gray and John Aston. The Rovers side, fullback is Bob Everett, whose form has kept Mike Fletcher out of the side. Mike Fletcher returning from injuries on the bench today. John Adams, Darren Hutchinson, Gary Atkins and Paul Rouse. Stanley Jean and Wayne Parker, the good half-back combination there. Andy Dannett, Sean Ho, Des Harrison, Richard Wilson, Paul Fletcher and Chris Charles. On the bench for Rovers, as Mark Johnson allows that ball to go over the line on the full. Penalty to Hull on halfway. The Rovers substitutes Mike Fletcher, Richard Chamberlain, Richard O'Brien and Craig Hardy. It's Andy Ireland with the first hit up. Hull will be very keen to put that disappointing performance at defeat at Featherstone behind them. Here comes Steve Craven, meets Andy Dannett. Rovers, of course, with 2 ex-Hull forwards in their pack, Dannett and Rob Wilson. Well, there's Rob Wilson going a little bit high on Gary Lester, but Lester takes the ball to within the 30-metre line. Hewitt. Schultz, nice ball to Rob Nolan, well read by the Rovers winger, coming in to make the tackle. Adams, Craven up to the 10-metre line. Still going Steve Craven. 5th and last tackle. With a good set of 6 from Hull this. Hewitt. Oh, chance for Nolan. He's got Johnson over in the corner. Great start from Hull. And they finish it off superbly. Oh, some good hands there, Brian. Mark Hewitt instrumental in both those teasing plays.
Yeah, it certainly was. I don't know what Wayne Parker's saying to the touch. Didn't look anything wrong with the try from here. And I think Everett went in on the man after he put the ball down. Try's given. Certainly a bit of tension in that first 2 or 3 minutes. Rovers intent on getting stuck in, as you'd imagine, in a local derby. And Mark Hewitt. Just chips it over. So it's Hull 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 0. Perfect start for Hull.
And I think, Brian, also a very purposeful set of 6 by Hull from the Rovers conceding that penalty from the kick-off. But in every play there, Hull were doing something sensible and efficient. Almost broke the Rovers' defence on 2 plays before, but moved it out very swiftly and efficiently.
Certainly didn't got the reward for that. So it's Hewitt to restart. Into the corner. Parker lets it go. John Adams. Good strong run from Adams. Not Fletcher. Chris Charles. Had 2 very good games for Rovers in the league games. Chris Harrison loses the ball. Picked up by Andy Fisher. Craven. Good yards by Steve Craven. Ireland. Still going Ireland. Rovers not getting his legs. Going in for a big hit. Andy Ireland makes a good 15 yards. All going right. Missing out the corner. Flick. Fisher. Oh, can't get rid of it, Tallis. The corner. Comes into some tough tackling. Hewitt. Lester. Schultz. Good tackle. Well read by Darren Hutchinson. Hallis. A bomb. Good kick by Hallis. Oh, well collected. Very well fielded by Rouse. Harrison. Good tackle by Steve Craven. Gannett. Tackle by Fisher and Lester. Wilson. Side steps, makes the halfway. Hole. 2 tackles left for Rovers. Jean, Parker, Charles. To Fletcher. Goes to the whole hand. Last tackle. Penalty to Rovers. So it gets Mark Hewitt for pulling the ball out after a tackle was made. So Bob Everett going for the goal. Yeah, the ball had gone to ground, Steve, hadn't it, from Fletcher? But he managed to regain it when you thought Hull would have been favourite to drop on the ball and gain advantage. So it's Everett, up 30 metres out, slight angle, not a difficult kick. Hardly any wind. Oh, he misses. Fielded by Johnson, not Johnson, Logan Campbell, he goes! And he's hammered into touch. Good defence by Rovers, second bite of the cherry, knocked him into touch.
Yeah, great run by Logan Campbell, but he, having stayed in the field of play and taken the tackle, he got up and tried to go on with it, and that gave Rovers a chance to come and put him into touch. So Rovers head and ball. Referee calls for the scrum again. The referee today, Mr. Peter Taberneau. Jean takes on Gary Laster, but doesn't get any change out of him. Parker, acting halfback, comes to the right with Des Harrison. Poe, Andy Dannett, big hit by Craven, knocks Dannett down straight away. The referee saw that was high. Calls Steve Craven to him. Calling Gary Luster to him. Oh, not happy with that decision. Steve Craven told to kick the tackles down. So Rovers with a chance. 10 metres from Lola. Here comes Dannett again. Again runs at Craven and Ireland. They've knocked him down 5 metres away from the whole line. Poe acting halfback. Parker. Was it wide to Jean? Parker on the run around. Drops off Wilson. Nice bit of play by Rovers, well read by the whole defence. Andy Fisher makes a good tackle. Parker to Rouse. Rouse is bundled down, no room on that far side. Logan Campbell in the tackle. Jean. Charles. So the whole defence getting a thorough examination here. Jean. Fletcher. Ball goes loose, Hull have it. The referee is going to give a knock on, I think. Maybe against Nolan. Knocked down by Hull player, is it? What's he going to give? Not popular with the crowd, Brian, but I think he was right.
Yeah, it was. He was unlucky, was Nolan, but it was right. It's another 6 for Rovers. Parker drops off Jean. Oh, Parker. Tackled by Schultz. Hammered down by Matt Schultz. Charles. Fletcher. Charles. Come off a whole hand again. Another 6 for Rovers. Fairly serious test of the whole defence. Drop off. It's held up. Chris Harrison held up. I think that was about the 14th tackle, Steve, and Rovers will get another 6.
Good football, really. Some good variation in Rovers' attacking play. Some great defence from Hull. So Hull's maybe got a chance now because Rovers will keep the pressure on here. They'll have the put in at the scrum. So had 14 tackles, the 6 to come. Jean. Out wide. Chance here in the corner. It is over. Rouse is in for the try. Rovers just got the numbers on the far left-hand side. And they finished off well. Campbell was drawn in and couldn't get back across to take his man.
That's right. I think what happened, they were worried about Jean going on a diagonal run and holding onto the ball, and the defence didn't really drift quick enough then. But a good try by Rovers. Reward for a lot of pressure. All just have to keep their heads. So it's Everett. That's a good one. Oh, it's the post. Good attempt by Everett. So after 12 minutes play, it's Hull 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 4. Deep kick by Everett. Too deep, goes dead. That's twice Rovers have failed to find the field of play from the kick-off. Unforgivable mistake. Ireland loses the ball. Rovers ball again. More pressure for Hull. Dannett. Fletcher. Parker. Long ball to Jean. Leicester. Must be a penalty for all that. Not letting Leicester get up. Mark Hewitt, fans touch, short of halfway, and all really need a good 6, Dave.
They do. Rovers seem to be moving the ball quickly out to Hull's left. Testing Logan Campbell out. Andy Fisher. Good run by Fisher. Leicester. Hewitt. Oh, not a good ball from Mark Hewitt. And Rovers come up with possession. That's the second time Hull have wasted possession on the second tackle. Fisher and Dixon in the tackle. Parker. Charles. Oh, Dannett. Ball comes loose. Back to Jean. Jean is wrapped up by Vicona, but the ball comes back to Ho. Very much forward progress made there. Dixon makes the tackle on the Rovers 30-metre line. Wilson makes 10. Parker kicks deep. That may go all the way. No, it's going to hold up in the in-goal area. A good kick by Wayne Parker. And he follows up to make the tackle on his former Halifax teammate, Johnson. Not square marking. Wayne Parker, the man penalised. Hull have the penalty just inside their own 20-metre line. Well, pretty even. Hull made a blistering start, and Rovers a lot of possession since then, and came back with that try. 6-4 the score. Mike Dixon is up towards the halfway line. He's tackled by Hutchinson. Hewitt. Swinging arm. Came in there from Fletcher. The referee has given a kick. It certainly came in very late there. Bad penalty to concede. Gives Hull possession just outside the 20. Seems to be some confusion in their calls of setting up plays, because with the new coaching team in situ. Penalty against Rovers, 10 metres from their own line. Wayne Parker remonstrating with the referee. That again for not square marking or offside, Brian?
I think it must be for offside. Richard Wilson get a bit of treatment, and Hewitt lines up for goal. Should be an easy kick this for Hewitt. Judging by the way the Rovers kicks have gone, Steve, I imagine what little breeze there is must be for Rovers. But from up here, there doesn't seem to be any breeze. Perfect conditions, right, well, say perfect conditions, rather too warm for rugby league. So it's Mark Hewitt. Chips it over. So that's Hull 8, Hull Kingston Rovers 4. So Hewitt kicks, long kick. Oh, well taken by Chris Charles. Settled by Rob Nolan. Parker to Everett. Harrison. Gannett. Tackled by Lester and Fisher. Never played it. Certainly never touched the foot, that ball. Last tackle. Parker, I think he'll kick it to the corner. Alice collects it. Sure to test out Graham Alice. Oh, Johnson knocks on again. High off the ball. Poor play by Hull yet again. So under pressure. Again, pressure they've created for themselves, Steve.
Yes, another unforced error, and Rovers again moving it swiftly out to the left. This time Charles checks, comes back inside Tackled 12 metres away. Done it. Takes on the corner and then loses the ball. Hull have it. Steve Craven picks up. Makes ground across the field and throws out a pass which was to no one. Johnson loses it. Rovers have it. It's going to run into the corner. Oh, what a mistake. What a mistake by the Rovers winger Adams. A try on a plate. Absolutely bombed the chance. Well, what a comedy of errors that was, Brian. Andy Dennett, first of all, losing the ball on the far side. Then Steve Craven throwing out a pass which was impossible. Rovers picking it up, apparently having a stroll into the corner. But the winger, John Adams, knocked on absolutely with no pressure whatsoever on him. So it's Hull taking it away after that scrum. Hallis, what a let-off that was. Ireland. Hewitt. Drops off Schultz. Well read by Charles. Dixon. Good run, Mike Dixon. Good run into the Rovers' half. It's the fifth and last tackle. We'll come to the short side with Hewitt, who kicks into the corner. That's a good kick. Settle things down. That was a good set of six from Hull after that last one. What a let-off that missed by John Adams, Brian.
Oh, terrible. You said Steve Craven should never have passed anywhere. Not a very good pass to Mark Johnson, but then Steve, I thought Mark Johnson should have made it safe. He should have been favourite to the ball, but it just bounced away from him. Wayne Parker tried to straighten the line-up. I think if he'd have given the ball directly to Adams, he would have scored. But anyway, he still gave a good ball to him, and Adams put it down. Hutchinson. Tackled by Rob Nolan. Jean. Good run by Stanley Jean. Gannett. Because Dannett's been playing in the 18. There goes Wilson, dummies. Good tackle by Fisher. And then Leicester over the top, stopping passing inside. Jean. Fletcher. Again off the whole hand. I'm not quite sure why Hull are sticking their hands out, really. Well, Parker goes for a high kick. Should be Hallis's. They're putting a lot of pressure on Hallis. Think it'll be a knock-on. It's a knock-on. Play the first knock-on, I'm not sure. It's Hull head and ball. Parker don't like it. I thought Hallis was interfered with, actually. I don't think Kes Harrison made any attempt to go up for the ball. But they certainly played on Hallis, as we expected. The corner. Schultz. Craven. Good tackle by Jean and Charles again. Hewitt. Leicester. Fisher. Oh, Fisher! I don't think he thought it was his ball then. Whether it was or it wasn't, he should have caught it. Fletcher again. Schultz. All offside. Really more pressure. Another good position. I can't really remember really all being once in the Rovers 20 and scoring a try, Steve. Otherwise it's been Rovers. Done it. Parker, Jean, Parker, drops off Charles. I think Rovers will go left. Chris Harrison wrapped around. Oh, Jean. Tackled by Leicester. Parker, nice ball. Oh, into touch, not such a nice ball. Rouse came on the bump to it, but it was way behind him. It needed a quick ball, but just not accurate enough from Wayne Parker. Richard Wilson coming off. David Boyd, Heffy coming on. So must be making 2 substitutions. And Ireland off as well. Campbell. I like Logan Campbell. Good run by Campbell. Hewitt up the middle. Heppy. Craven on a flat ball. Oh, good tackle. Good tackle from Chris Harrison. Leicester. Schultz, not a good ball. And Schultz runs into a big tackle from Jane and Wilson, drops the ball. Never really had control of that, the ball went behind him. So more pressure. All seem to be incapable against the 6 tackles at the moment.
Yes, and Rovers had a mountain of possession in the whole half through a combination of full errors and some good play by them. So, I'm just short of halfway. Des Harrison takes the ball into the Hull half. Jean, switch of play, switch of direction onto the short side. Ho, nothing really on there. David Boyd in the tackle. Andy Dunnett meets Boyd and Fisher. The ball on the floor. The referee waves play on there. And then Dunnett was definitely playing for a penalty there. But, Jean. Fletcher. Standing wide on Hull's right-hand side. Strong player. Paul Fletcher likes to stand in the tackle and the ball away. Parker. Teasing kick wrapped up by Graham Hallis. 0 tackle. Hull have the ball 5 metres from their own line. Vacona. And a penalty against Dannett, putting his hand in Vacona's face. So plenty of spills and action here. Hull ahead by 8 points to 4. The Rovers have missed a cast iron chance. Vacona within 15 metres of the halfway line. Here comes David Boyd. Taken by Fletcher and Charles. Felt that. It takes quite a bit to hurt David Boyd, so I'm sure he's genuinely hurt out there. Schultz playing without the headgear, gets it away to Heppy. Heppy surrounded by 3 Rovers men. Craven inside the Rovers half. Defence is as fierce as you would expect, the tackling ferocious. Wilson, oh, a bad one by Wilson. Oh, that's a bad one. Oh, Leicester round the face. Gary Leicester is okay, I'm sure. He did sit up. Well, Greg McCallum has talked this week about tightening up on late tackles, high tackles. Referee quite right in quietening things down, the players on 2 sides apart from each other, because that's just the sort of thing that can create a mayhem. Referee taking his time, bowling over Andy Fisher. Oh, he's put him on report. Well, Well, I don't believe the referee. I don't believe. I believe he saw everything that happened there. Passing the buck, Brian?
Yeah, I think so. Though I see in the rugby league press that. I see in the rugby league press actually that the referee's boss, Greg McCallum, is all for putting people on reports rather than sending them off immediately. So Mr. Taberner was presumably following instructions there. But it's Mark Hewitt. Referee sending Chris Harrison back. Right, he's not within the 10 metres, I don't think. Oh. Possibly is. So it's Hewitt, pretty straight, 40 metres out. Kicks it. The Terry'd kicked it. It was kicking to the Kingston Rovers supporters, and there was dead silence, so clearly it was going plumb centre. So Hull going to a 10 points to 4 lead, and really on the run of play at Steve, you'd never think they'd be leading by 6 points.
No, I mean, you look at the statistics of possession in the first half. Rovers have really dominated territorially, but Mark Hewitt's trusty goal kick giving Hull that lead. 1 try each. Charles. Oh, great work by Mike Dixon. And a one-on-one takes the ball from Charles. Happy. Real chance for Hull to exert some pressure now. Here comes Steve Craven. Within 8 metres, a very strong run by Steve Craven. We'll go to the open side with Hewitt. Comes back inside, Mark Hewitt. Still going, 5 back, short side this time. Heppy. Out to Mark Johnson. Yeah. Rob Nolan.
So it's shown up. It was tackled pretty ferociously for Rovers. Chris Harrison. Gannett. All offside. So it's Everett. Finds a good touch. So it's not. It's just. I thought Matt Johnson was going to catch it, but the wind just turned over the top of his head. So Rovers back in the Hull 20. Gannett. Tackled by Craven and Schultz. Pretty hard tackle that by Craven. Rovers going left, Parker. Jean. Wilson. Bull. Hold no advantage. Yeah, we think for okay that Gannett went in with a head after the tackle, but nobody saw it. Oh, the referee's talking to him, so obviously he did. Heppy. Good tackle by Fletcher over the top. Hallis. Again Fletcher in. Craven. Charles. Hutchinson. Hewitt. Schultz. Hewitt, arms up. Oh, good tackle by Paul Fletcher, who's having a blinder for Rovers. Rester, high kick, good kick. Penalty against Heppy, silly penalty. Getting pretty tough out there. It's been tough on the first minute. Got about 5 minutes left in the first half. Hull holding on to a 10 points to 4 lead. Ooh, good tackle by Schultz on Everett. Bennett. Oh, bang down by Eppie. And Dixon. Harrison. Boyd, Fisher. Hull's prepared to tough it out, I think. Charles. Knock on. Campbell. Look dangerous, Campbell. Hewitt. Schultz. Eppie. Goes. Inside ball, Schultz. Oh, still going. Oh, go right here. Fisher goes on his own. I think he's there. I think he's over the, is he over the line held up? Yeah. Hull will settle for that. 10-metre scrum. Thought it could have gone out first time right, but once Fisher straightened up and went, there was always a 50-50 chance of making the line. Des Harrison got underneath him. Blood bin, I get for Dannett. Craig Hardy on for Dannett. Handing out, they're going down to the dressing room. Hewitt. Bacona. Oh, great tackle by Stanley Jean. Johnson. Bacona. Yeah, he's over. What a try by Tabita by corner. Went through 3 Rovers defenders. Squeezed it over. When Matt Johnson gave him the ball back, I know there's no chance in the corner to me. But you underestimate Tabita's strength. It looked odds on either him being pushed into touch or stopped short, but in fact his strength took him over for a very important try just before half-time, Steve.
Not many players would have scored that try, Brian.
No, certainly not. Needed strength and balance, and Tabita's got those in abundance that we've seen this season. So it's Mark Hewitt trying to add the 2 points. Important time to score a try, of course, just before half-time. So Mark Hewitt, most difficult kick of the day. Takes his time. Looks a good one. Looks a very good, a tremendous kick from Mark Hewitt. Being the score, Hull 16, Hull Kingston Rovers 4. What a kick. What a pressure kick, Steve.
Oh, that's... he's kicked all the others quite cool. You expect him to get those, but really, from that tremendous kick, because this is a very wide pitch here at Boothferry Park, and right on the touchline. Accuracy is absolutely deadly. A real sickener for Rovers, who've had the bulk of the game in terms of territory and possession, but a 16-4 down on the scoreline. And that is the half-time, and Hull will be very satisfied with the squad. We saw some elements of their performance I think will be less than happy with, the ball security and the amount of time Rovers have had in their half. But Hull have defended well, and Rovers scored the 1 try and blew another cast-iron chance. A derby game full of thrills and spills, as you would expect, and at half-time the Hull Sharks lead by 16 points to 4. So 16-4 the interval score. Rovers were wondering in the end how much they will rue that missed chance by John Adams when the scores were very, very close. But we've seen Rovers come back before in derby games this season, 16-4 behind. Jean makes the first dash of the second half, gets to the 20-metre line, tackled by Craven and Schultz. Wilson on report for that high tackle on Gary Lester. 17 is Craig Hardy. Andy Dannett hasn't yet appeared. Paul Fletcher, certainly for me, Rovers' best player in the first half. He gets to the halfway line. Des Harrison. Good run by Des Harrison. Takes play to within 40 metres of the whole line. This has been a very solid set of 6 by Rovers to start the second half. High kick by Parker. Oh, Hallis struggles with that and he's banged over his own line. I think he was probably straddling it. It was in the field of play. So it's a whole dropout. Well, Graham Hallis nowhere near that, but Brian, that was a tremendously high swirling kick.
Yeah, good kick. At first it looks as though it was going to drop into his hands and it was over his head, and he'd always lost it then. The tactic obviously Rovers used in the first half. So it's Mark Hewitt. Fans halfway. Everett. Haven't seen so much of Rob Everett in this game. Steve commented earlier, he's done well since he came in the side for Mike Fletcher. There goes Hardy. All defence didn't move up then. Easy 10 for Hardy. Harrison. Parker. Wilson. Runs at Andy Fisher, who wraps him up easy, but a good quick play of the ball by Wilson. Parker, inside to Fletcher, will score! Oh, simple drop-off. Parker to Fletcher, and really for me it was made by Rob Wilson's quick play of the ball. Whole defence never got set. Perfect start for Rovers, brings the score up to 16 points, to 8 with the kick to come, and not a difficult kick.
One he should really get. The cheers from the Rovers supporters tell you that's through the middle, and Hull's 12-point lead is down to 6 at 16-10. Not the start Hull wanted in this half. So Rovers to restart. Matt Schultz. As well, gets to the 20-metre line on the restart. Craven. Dixon goes from acting half. The 3 tackles, Hull almost back up to the halfway line. Pepe. Good tackling. Couldn't quite bend his men away. Jean and the tackle. Here comes Vicona. Nice ball to Boyd. And the ball goes away to Logan Campbell. Back to Heppy. Swift ball to Vicona. Chance on the outside, Craven can handle it. Oh, real chance there, because there were 2-3 men on his outside, completely spare, Brian.
Yeah, it was a real blow by Steve Craven. This was certainly row. Initially made by that strong run by Logan Campbell. So Wayne Parker to feed. Hutchinson gets out of Eppy's tackle, tackled by Rob Nolan. Good quick play of the ball. Here comes Chris Charles. Hardy. Tackling there by Hull. By Boyd. And Heppy, imagine he'd feel that. Harrison loses the ball. Hewitt. I think he'd have been better off passing there because there was room. Hallis. Gets rid to Dixon, who goes. Gets a good ball to Rob Nolan. Rob Nolan! Rob Nolan! Oh, good run by Nolan. Hull going right, Leicester. Fisher. Leicester. Oh, Boyd didn't come in the gap. Looking for something to run short. Hewitt. Craven. Boyd. Inside, Schultz. Leicester. Good attack by Hull, but good defence by Rovers. Hewitt. Eppie. The corner. Oh, good tackle. Fisher knocks on. Hull appealing that Bruce was in the way, and he was actually. I'm sure if the ball had actually hit him, well, they got a penalty. But Parker to feed again. Jean. Tackle by Leicester. Change him on his back. Everett. Tackled by, well tackled by Effie then. Fletcher. Charges. Good tackle by Nolan. Underneath and Craven over the top. Parker. Short ball to Chris Harrison. Rover seems to have lost a little bit of spark at the minute. But Chris Charles, halfway. Tackle on halfway, last tackle. I'm sure Parker will go for the bomb at Alice again. Doesn't chips. The corner. Look for a penalty. Parker look for a penalty. The referee won't have it any. Logan Campbell. Strong run in this Campbell. Dixon runs off. Dixon! Oh, good yards by Mike Dixon. Boyd. Leicester. Hewitt. Hewitt goes. Heppy. Good ball to Rob Nolan, but excellent tackle. But it does. Johnson. Gets rid. Schultz. Leicester. Oh, runs into two Rovers defenders. The corner. Charges on, he's over. Tabita Bacona ran at a static defence and it's over again. Simple try, not very special. Craig Hardy gets up. Chris Charles gets up. He just ran through him. Standing start for that half-back Steve. 5 yards, it was just too strong.
Yeah, I think the Rovers were under tremendous pressure there. I think Hull was set to move the ball to the right, and that's where Rovers were thinking, and the men on the left-hand side just didn't move up from the line, and Bacona went over from about 6-7 metres. We've had two vital Tabita Bacona scores, and the second half has started in a blistering pace. Rovers, that very early try. So Mark Hewitt with a much easier conversion than his last. Accuracy is there again. Mark Hewitt's fifth success. Hull Sharks 22, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. Well, Rovers making changes. On comes Mike Fletcher and Richard Chamberlain. Off Darren Hutchinson, Sean Ho. Hull restart. Chamberlain and Fletcher coming back after injury. Rob Wilson almost breaks through, stepping off that right foot. Parker, nice ball to Fletcher. There's Harrison. It's a big tackle on the halfway line. Charles drops off Jean. Oh, and he gets the ball away to Chamberlain. This is a good play by Rovers. There's Harrison again. Back to Chamberlain. Parker floats it out wide to Mike Fletcher, who loses it. Picked up by Steve Craven. The ball comes loose. Referee then has got to give the first knock on, yeah. Steve Craven was rather reluctant to fall on that ball. Didn't see much advantage taking it there. And in the end he did lose it. But clearly no advantage to Hull, therefore heading ball to Hull at this scrum 15 metres from halfway. And Mark Hewitt to feed. Lester, happy. Fisher. Almost up to the, oh, it does in fact make the halfway line on that. Dixon. Boyd. Pass to Hallis. I think it was rather forward. It was. Referee has given it. There was a knock on anyway by Hallis. So Rovers had on ball. Adams. Tackled by Graham Hallis on the halfway line. Everetts. Oh, good tackle by Gary Lester. Chamberlain from acting half. Scampers good 10 metres. Parker. Drops off Harrison. Tackled on Hull's 30-metre line. Wilson. Oh, it's going to be a penalty against the ball. Oh, it's, yeah, a little bit of aggravation on the floor. Rob Wilson. Matt Schultz. Tackle given against Boyd. So Rovers have the penalty, 25 metres from the Hull line. Now David Boyd, I think, coming off for Hull. And back comes Andy Ireland. Certainly a day where we're going to see quite a lot of spelling of forwards, Brian, with this heat out there. Very energy sapping, and the game played at such a blistering pace.
Yes, people certainly out sparing themselves. I think I was looking before, about 10 minutes before our time, Chris Harrison looked out on his feet, but he's come back in the second half. He's been taking the ball up for bags of enthusiasm for Rovers. But the others, people are working hard. Everett. Kicks it. Brings the lead down to 10 points, 22 to Hull, 12 to Hull Kingston Rovers. So it's Everett, kick off. Pines touch. She's got on the 20. Hallis. Good tackle by Chris Charles. Leicester, Heppy. Leicester. Ooh. Ducks under a tackle from Harrison. Craven. Schultz. Oh, nice tackle by Fletcher. Last tackle. Hewitt. Ooh. Fletcher. Penalty against Hull. Not square marking. So it's Everett to find a touch. Takes the pressure off the Rovers there. Here comes Wilson. I think that'll be a penalty against Eppie for high tackle. No, against Wilson for the elbow. And a high tackle by Eppie. No, elbow it says. Yeah. But Eppie has to keep his head on, Steve.
Yes, I must say I didn't see a lot in that from Rob Wilson. I thought the penalty early for not square mark was a bit harsh. There was no impeding the play of the ball. Rovers played it very, very quickly. There's Andy Ireland within 5 metres of the line. Ball very much sat deep to the left. Dixon goes from acting half. He's almost there. Just Rovers men get under him. Good quick play of the ball. Craven for the line. Leicester, tackle, fifth and last. Bacona calling for the ball out to the right. Hewitt, what will he do? Goes to the left and gets trapped in possession. Hull never really sat there. Not sat deep enough. Rather slow play of the balls, Brian.
Yeah, they did it well. They penalty against Hewitt for not releasing the ball. And another 10 metres, presumably for arguing. And Everett finds a good touch for Rovers. Here comes Craig Hardy. Tackled by Ireland. And Fisher. Wilson off. And O'Brien on for Rovers. Parker. Dan it back on. Oh. Atkin. Tackled by Eppie. O'Brien. Charles. Wrapped up. Last tackle. Nowhere to go, Chris Charles then. Rovers will go on the short side. Mike Fletcher kicks through with a fine touch. And he does. Hewitt. Penalty. for interference at the scrub. Another 10. I think it was against Paul Fletcher. Was. Calling Wayne Parker across as well. So it's Hewitt. Fan touch, short of halfway. Rob Nolan. Oh, big tackle by Fletcher. Dixon. Rob Nolan again. Straight up the middle, Nolan. Good yards, Rob Nolan. Hewitt. Leicester. Fisher. Half beats Jean's tackle, but he's wrapped up by O'Brien. Hull going on the short side. Eppie. Inside the corner. 5 yards short. Eppie. Leicester. Hewitt. Goes. Oh, he should have parted. Mark Hewitt. Last tackle. Jean. Atkin. Loses it. Comes out. Oh. O'Brien knocks on. Kevin Gray coming on, I think. And Wilson and Rob Nolan having treatment. So it's Eppie, goes up the blind. Give it to Logan Campbell. Oh, gets dragged into touch. Oh, poor play by Hull. First tackle. Good strong Rovers defence led by Wayne Parker there, Steve.
Yep. Oh, it was never on. Real wasted possession there. Is Bob Everett next to the 20-metre line. Jean. Mike Fletcher. Tackled by Ireland and Schultz. Good fumble by Chamberlain, but touch judge on the far side didn't see anything. Play's allowed to go on. This is Hardy. Gets the ball away to Jean. Nice ball to Charles. Everett back inside to Parker. Parker to Fletcher. Back to Parker. Tremendous play by Rovers. Everett still going, but tries in the end to force the pass, and a brilliant move comes to nothing in the end. But that was superb work, Brian, by Rovers.
Yeah, excellent attack that by Rovers. Finally the ball goes forward, so it's going to be Hull's heading ball. 10 metres from their own line. Mark Hewitt to feed. Well, I think in his last 10 minutes he's done too much. Johnson. Tackled by Mike Fletcher. Palace. Ireland. Good run by Andy Ireland. Good yards. Dixon. Leicester, the corner. Hull going blind. Hewitt will kick into the corner. Good touch by Mark Hewitt. Very good touch. Good 6 by Hull. Craven off. And Richard Wilson going on. New pair of legs for Hull. Actually, Craven had one of his more dominant games, Steve.
And Kevin Gray coming on as well. sure who Kevin Gray is on for them. Rob Nolan is coming up, and that means Logan Campbell goes into the left centre position. Kevin Gray taking a precedence on the right wing. Rob Nolan's done pretty well. Second half, some good acting half-back running. Jean loses the ball, Everett picks up. Rovers 5 metres from their own line. Jean will tackle Richard Wilson in straight away. Fletcher, nice ball, and here it goes loose again. The execution not good. Atkins to Rouse. It was a good ball by Mike Fletcher that created a bit of space. Not a very accurate pass by Atkins, and I think Rouse had overrun it a bit anyway, so it gives Hull a chance to apply some more pressure. Bacona. Tackled by Everett and Jean. Richard Wilson. Surging run by Richard Wilson. Needs a quick play of the ball. Rovers have got him on his back. That slows it down a little bit. Hewitt. Schultz. Referee waves play on. Maybe a Rovers hand in there. The ball definitely came loose. Dixon. Hewitt loses it. Wayne Parker has it. Oh no, Rovers small possession. Heppy still going Brad Heppy, but well tackled by that man Paul Fletcher. Hull come up with possession as it went back. Mark Johnson. All the mistakes contributing to the excitement as Mike Dixon gets within 8 metres of the Rovers line. Fisher. To Bacona. Bacona doesn't make the line. Tackled just short and lost the ball. So Rovers had a ball at this scrum 10 metres from their own line. And we'll see what kind of toll the heat takes on the players in the last 20 minutes or so. There's O'Brien. Sorry, Hardy. Done it. Tackled by Andy Fisher. Chamberlain from acting halfback. Almost makes the halfway line. Parker. Out to Mike Fletcher. Kicks over. Useful. Questionable whether it was onside or not. But the ball comes loose anyway. Hull have possession. I think there's a question mark about that. Well, the kick was a good one, but I think Rouse was slightly in front of Mike Fletcher anyway. Rovers fans not happy. I think a Hull player tackled the Rovers man without the ball. Palace. Leicester to Richard Wilson. Oh, looked for the pass to Bacona, but stuck on. Fisher loses it. And a knock-on is going to be given. Oh no, it's a pushing by Andy Fisher. Andy Fisher's not had one of his more dominant games. He'll struggle a little bit today. So more pressure for Hull to cope with. Rovers to start this set of 6 on the Hull 20-metre line. Andy Dannett, but tackled by Richard Wilson. 5 tackles to come. Hardy, 8 metres away. Parker, Jean, Parker, Fletcher. About 8 metres away still. Parker switches it back to the middle. Jean. Nearly an obstruction, probably not quite. Chamberlain. Oh, it is over the centre. Atkins just kept on going. Looked to the outside, thought about the pass, but just kept on going, and the whole defence opened up for him. And Rovers right back in the game now at 22-16, Brian, with a kick to come.
Yeah, certainly a suspicion of obstruction when O'Brien ran through. But pull Rovers back up to 22 points to 16 and all to play for. I make it about 10 minutes left. Certainly Rovers haven't given this up. Atkins did well, a bit of room, came off his foot, little diagonal run, and he was always going to make the line. Not too difficult a conversion attempt for Everett. Right side for right-footed kicker. Oh, he misses it. Oh, well, it looked for me to be on the left hand, behind the left-hand post. Well. Bad decision by both touches. I think the Rovers supporters at the end made the minds up for him there. Leicester, Heppy. Tackled by Fletcher. Hallis. Heppy. Oh, knocks on. Good attacking position this for Rovers. Parker. Dummies. Long ball to Adams. Oh, tackled by Campbell. Chamberlain. No way, chance to take it up here. Got it. Loses it. Referee said it was pulled out. I think Everett will go for goal here. There's plenty of time. If he kicks it, which he should, it'll bring it down to 2 points. But that'll still make it 5 minutes to go, Steve.
Yes, at least. Got a late kick-off. Well, this should be an easy kick for Bob Everett. And no mistake that time, and no controversy about that one. So it's 22-20, and the... Well, these derby games this season, the two in the league, were very similar to this one. Rovers refused to be killed off. Hull seemed to have it with a 12-point and then a 10-point lead, a 10-point lead for ages in the game. But 2 points now the difference at 22-20. Very important for Hull to have a good set of 6 this time. Vacona goes from acting halfback. Good run by Vacona. Gets through Parker, gets through Everett. Gets almost the halfway line. That's just what Hull needed. For my word, how they've depended on Tavita Vacona today. Schultz. Ball comes loose. Back to one, came off a Rovers' hand. Ball just inside the Rovers' half. Schultz goes down the short side. Wilson knocks off the tackle of Parker. Dixon from acting half. Scampering run up to the 20-metre line. Hallis finds some space, Graham Hallis. Up to 10 metres from the Rovers line. 2 tackles to come. Schultz. Dixon. Nice ball to Leicester. Can't quite get it away, Gary Leicester. 5th and last, Fisher. Leicester. Hewitt. Chances here. Kevin Gray can't pick up. Can only try to kick the ball. It goes into touch in the end. Needed an accurate pass from Mark Hewitt. There was a running chance. It was the right option. But Rovers have the turnover. Good tackle by Richard Wilson. Charles. The players summoning up the last dregs of energy. A tremendously tense, exciting game played in this searing heat. Chamberlain. Nowhere to go. Dunnett. Looking to turn and offload, but he rumbles forward a few more yards. On Hull of possession, but it's a penalty against Ireland. 2 men in the tackle. What a silly penalty. Did Andy Dunnett con Andy Ireland into that? Everett doesn't make much yards on the touch. On the kick, rather. Rovers still inside their own half, but another set of 6 to come. Here comes Mike Fletcher. Tackled on the halfway line. Parker. Jean. Good tackle by Andy Ireland. Dunnett. Into the Hull 20. Short side, Atkins. To Rouse. Offloads it to O'Brien. O'Brien well tackled. On the 20. It's the 5th and last. Comes to Parker. What sort of kick are we going to get? It's a good one, and he's come up in the corner with a try. For Mike Fletcher. He'd beat the despairing hands of Mark Johnson, and Mike Fletcher caught it on the full. And he scores what should be the winning try for Rovers. Well, it was a good kick by Wayne Parker. You've always got a chance with those, Brian.
Yeah, inch perfect. And Fletcher was always going to beat Johnson. Committed himself, Mike Fletcher, jumped higher. Once he caught it, that was it. Waved away. And there's the full-time hooter, with Rovers victorious. By 2 points. And really, to me, Steve, they quite deserve the win. They battled in, Hull could have killed them off, didn't. And I thought Rovers, certainly in the last 10 minutes, pulled back the pressure, looked organised and kept trying. And certainly earned the win.
I think it's been very much like the other derby game. Nip and tuck, pull ahead quite a bit, and then Rovers refusing to be killed off. They've got tremendous spirit in these games. And I think Wayne Parker has added an extra dimension to their attack. Much more variety there, taking a bit of pressure off Stanley Jean. And when you consider they bombed that very easy chance in the first half, this I think has been a... So a reminder of the final score. It was Hull Sharks 22, Hull Kingston Rovers 24. From Steve Olsen and Brian Holwell here at Boothferry Park, it's goodbye.